Welcome back to Fold in the Cheese. It's your boy Kate Troll on the mic, as always, and I am joined today. Very special guest. I've got the Jamie Tartt to my Roy Kent.
I've had 3 glasses of wine. It's Pavlovian.
Pavlovian? What is that? Is that the wine?
Because it's confusing. They do all these emotional things, make you feel all these emotional ways, and then they get mad when you start trying to shout out and talk to them during a performance.
You look like you've forgotten something.
Hey, Keely, looking for your prick boyfriend. You know how to pick him, don't you?
Didn't your last girlfriend, steal your Rolex and sell it for drug money?
So? I don't need a phone and a watch.
Ethan Gale fan. What's happening, E?
Jamie Tartt, Jamie Tartt, yes, we are. Oi,
Kaylee.
That's all.
Right, there's going to be some language in this episode, just FYI.
A lot of oys. Oi.
A lot of oys, a lot of F-bombs.
But so is Jamie Tartt, is he Welsh? Is he Scottish? Which one is he? Because his accent is way different.
He's a very different accent. I don't know what he is.
Okay.
We should probably look that up before this. And no disrespect to the great folks of the island nation.
Yes. We just do not want to murder any accents here. But yeah, man, we're doing Ted Lasso today. I saw this shirt. I had to pick it up. It is spectacular.
That is spectacular.
I'm Ronald McDonald. I'm your new manager.
Yeah.
So in full disclosure, when Kemp and I were deciding who we were going to be today, we definitely watched a clip show of Roy Kent Best Moments season 1 and 2. And
oh my God, it's 12 minutes of absolute glory.
Just spectacularness. And anyway, I love that man.
I love that man. I just love him. So complex. It's so hilarious.
Can we get Kemper? Can we get ice cream?
Fuck
F
no.
F no.
Uncle Roy, can we get ice cream?
Fuck no. Sorry. F no.
It's like Phoebe's been swearing in class. Me?
Why do you think she gets that from? And teacher just looks at him. He's like,
yes. Sorry. I love him so much. It's so good. And Jamie Tartt's a good kind of foil to him. See the young upstart who's just kind of so headstrong and all that. And Roy's the old man, curmudgeon-y old man, but great characters. Yep. I don't think there's really a bad character in that show. Obviously, you kind of, Nate, spoiler alert, turns the villain. So we'll see kind of how that progresses. But there's really no bad character in that show. Yeah,
they're all fantastic. Higgins and Beard.
I do like Higgins.
Keely has her moments, obviously, too. You've got Sam and Danny Rojas and all these great people. I mean, it is spectacular.
Football is life.
Football is
also death. When he kills the mascot.
Yes.
Football is death. Sorry.
Spectacular.
Anyway, I could quote that show all day.
All right, well, good. You're going to need to because you've got some trivia coming up later today. Bury the lead a little bit.
I was trying to think of what kind of like trivia questions there would be, and I'm interested to see what you come up with because a lot of it's just quotes. It's just like quotables and stuff like that. But it's like, what was the score of the Tottenham match? I'm like, oh crap. But
no. I'm not going that deep. And also, I got to remember, like, it's been a hot minute since this show was on the air, right? Or since the last season ended. So I know it's been probably 6 to 8 months since you saw it, unless you've been rewatching, which would be awesome.
Which is crazy because, I mean, you obviously know my wife. She's not a huge TV watcher, but, we'll get into shows and we'll watch them. But if she watches something, she doesn't watch it again, save for one show, one Ted Lasso. Like that is the one show we watched season 1 twice. We haven't rewatched season 2 yet, but I'm sure that's coming down the pipe.
Really? Is it like a right before the new season comes out kind of thing?
No, she was just like, I need something to pick. I don't know. She was in like a phase through just like, what's this? She's like, I need something uplifting. I need something that I just like love. And she's like, I need me some Ted Lasso. So for like,
I need Ted Lasso.
Straight, I
get it, man.
We rewatched it.
I get it. I could absolutely see us doing the same thing because it's just it's hilarious, but it's also like it is very positive.
It's heartwarming.
In a lot of cases.
Like it's heartwarming, but not in like a corny sense. It's just like it just makes you feel good.
I love it. I just love it. So we're going to get some trivia on that in a little bit later. I did find out some interesting factoids about the show in general. And I found out that Roy Kent was originally just a writer and they ended up casting him to be Roy Kent. So
once I found out he was a writer, that made me respect him even more. The fact that obviously he's a star in the show, but he originally wasn't supposed to be. And the fact that he's writing all this stuff too is spectacular.
Yeah. Did you know that Beard and Sudeikis imagined this idea 20 years ago together? They were in an improv troupe together, which I had no idea that Beard had improv chops like that. And he and Sudeikis were in an improv troupe together, and they came up with this idea of like, I guess they started watching some Premier League stuff and got kind of hooked. Sudeikis went out and bought a PlayStation and bought FIFA at the time. And they started playing, and they started thinking about how funny it would be for like an American to take over like a soccer club.
Well,
and that was the first iteration of that idea.
Well, yeah, and obviously, as we talked about the last time we did Ted Lasso, the fact that once NBC got the rights to the Premier League, they came up with Ted Lasso. But then what's crazy is, so obviously that was just a bit for the commercial. So then flash forward years later, then do you know who kind of pushed Sudeikis to pitch it as a show to actually do it?
His wife, Olivia Wilde.
Olivia Wilde,
his partner, as he calls her now.
I was gonna say, but I don't think they're together anymore.
They're not together anymore, I don't think. But yes, I read that as well.
It was Olivia Wilde who pushed him to do it. Thank you, Olivia Wilde, for more reasons than one.
Yeah, a lot of reasons. We were very grateful for her. Let's move on to some football, should we?
I guess so. Before we get in trouble.
Yeah, before we get in trouble here. We got some NFL updates today. We've got a Do It board update. We've got Pigskin Pick'em update. We had our Run Your Pool fantasy update. We were recapping all the stuff we predicted last week to see how great we are. And in the spirit of the Do It board, I am wearing your boy, Matty Ice, Matt Ryan today.
It's funny. I didn't want to like call it out like you're wearing a Matt Ryan jersey, right? Is it signed for when he was thrown in your backyard with you? And
it was from when I saw him in Target that one time. I just happened to be wearing it, and I was like, "Hey, let's do this."
We're like twins.
We're like the same. You think if I go in the field, they'll know it's me and not you?
Okay, so real quick digression where I just said we're twins. So Kemper, we talked about this too. How our new show that we're watching, I turned you on to Only Murders in the Building. And I mentioned to you that we're now watching the show Suits, which I know you love, and you've watched the whole thing. So we're on season 2 anyway. But we literally just saw an episode last night where Harvey's already senior partner, and they just made Louis Litt a senior partner, and so Harvey has to get on Louis's good side, and so he's complimenting him, he's all that. So Louis just keeps going like, "Oh, so we're like best friends now, and we're the same, we're colleagues." So people walk down the street, they're like, "Oh my gosh, look at those identical twins over there."
Harvey and Louis, it's a fantastic relationship, and then great dynamic for the show all the way through.
We're like identical twins. So yeah.
Have you gotten to the coffee mugs for Louis yet?
No.
Okay. He gets a shipment of coffee mugs in, which is spectacular.
Please tell me like his face is on them. I'm just guessing that's what's happening.
No, he's got like a catchphrase. It goes on. Yeah, it's all.
You got lit up? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Spoiler! Wow! Spoiler alert! Holy cow!
They found his notebook with catchphrase ideas, and you got lit up. Sorry, I know we're doing a Ted Lasso show, but Suits is great.
Suits is a great show
so far. It is really good.
Highly recommend. It's over now, but it's a great show. It's a good rewatch. All right, let's get into some updates in the NFL because we had a lot to cover today. So I wanted to recap some of the injury updates from our previous episode to see kind of how people are doing. T. Higgins still questionable. One of the things I heard was that he's probably likely to play because he's been, I guess, moderately involved in practice. This is one of those things. I think his coach, Zach Taylor, is saying that he's cleared all the steps he needs to clear, but they do like a final evaluation before game time and stuff. So like you never know with him. I stashed Tyler Boyd on one of my teams just in case. And he's also kind of usable anyway most of the time. So I think Higgins will play, but here's hoping. Keenan Allen, I think he's already been ruled out for Thursday Night Football. So
that's crazy. That's a big loss for them. That's
a big loss for them, especially in a big game against the Chiefs. So that hurts. Look to Joshua Palmer, look to DeAndre Carter to pick up the slack.
Did you see the Chiefs? They did their throwback logo on the midfield, the new painted logo.
No, I didn't.
Check it out. Google it.
Okay.
So you do deeper dives into the injury reports. I do deeper dives into what paint they're using on the field.
You're always in on the fields and the field names. And did you know Heinz Field is no longer Heinz Field? You're good for those kinds of factoids for sure.
This is where my brain goes.
Dude, it's a great combo. This is why we're Thunder and Lightning. This is why we're Roy and Jamie Tartt.
And Jamie Tartt.
Oi.
damn it, I can't do oi. That's not how Jamie says, but I'm not going to murder his accent. I'm not doing
His accent is so tough, dude. I've tried it before. It's brutal. It's so cool though. I really do like it. It's really interesting. All right, so and hopefully you see a bounce back from Mike Williams this week too, because that was not what you wanted last week. I was a little surprised by this. I didn't know there was an injury at all, but Ty Montgomery's on IR for the Patriots, so he's out for at least 4 weeks. Not a substantial role in that offense, other than he did catch a touchdown last week, and he seemed to be the passing down back. I think you're going to see a lot more work for Ramondre in this case, so that's a big boost for him. Not so much really no change for Damon Harris probably.
What I dislike for that, not that like I like anyone getting hurt, but the fact that you will just have more of a focus now on these two guys. You know, Bill Belichick obviously likes to get cute. He'll throw in, you know, Mike Vrabel. How many touchdowns does that guy catch in his career and stuff like that? So he'll throw in random guys. But now it's like, nope, you really got to focus on your actual skill position players now, please. So let's do that.
So you think cue James Slater coming in and catching a touchdown in the backfield?
You mean Matthew Slater?
Is that his name?
The special teams guy who's been on the team, basically Pro Bowl every year because of his special
team. Matthew Slater. Yes. I knew you knew who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. That guy.
I do. He's
never done anything offensively ever until this week.
We need to stat check how many receptions he has in his career. It might be 2.
I was going to say 3 maybe, but maybe less. Like a fake punt kind of thing. All right. Pete Carroll says Kenneth Walker is going to play this week. I'm excited to see that because obviously he went to Wake for a while. He's at Michigan State. He's a stud rookie. I thought Penny looked pretty good on Monday Night Football, but wasn't like otherworldly like he had been at the end of last season. So it does open the door a little bit to see what Kenny can do.
Like he is at the end of every season when Carson inevitably gets hurt and Penny's like, okay, let me show you what I can do for 3 games. Like, all right.
He's probably like an avid fantasy player and just wants to blow it out in the playoffs.
That could be it.
He's like, look, I picked me up. Watch this.
I picked myself up.
So I think it would be interesting to see the split there and see. Obviously, I think they'll ease Walker in unless he's just a super hot hand. But he had core muscle surgery, I think, or hernia surgery or something throughout the offseason. So we'll see how that goes. Najee says he's going to play this week. So Najee's like, nah, I'm playing.
I'm good.
He's a beastly man. I'm inclined to believe him.
But
keep an eye on that one.
That's unfortunate for my Patriots, but I don't know. I just get worried especially with these young guys coming back from foot injuries are never good. And they're going to linger. It's kind of like a hamstring. It's always going to be there. And again, this is not just me hoping that he doesn't play because I'm a Patriots fan, but I'm just more worried about him as a long term. Like, don't rush these things. I don't get it.
Godwin. Don't Godwin.
Godwin. Look at this thing. Booby Miles.
Godwin it.
Booby Miles.
Booby Miles. Great reference. God, love that movie too. Friday Night Lights. If you haven't seen it,
back
check
soon.
it out. Totally Jalen Warren is the guy who's kind of backing up Najee right now. He's the hot name on the waiver wire. If you're concerned about Najee, if Najee doesn't play, I'd put Jalen Warren right in there. I mean, I know it's not a good matchup with the Patriots. You know, running against the Patriots is never easy, so it's not a great matchup in general. But this is a system that works no matter who you put in. And Najee's going to be obviously better than Jalen Warren, but I think he'd be effective.
Okay.
That's all I got. NFL updates. What do you say we do a do-it board update? Do it.
Let's do it, shall we? And let's pull it up. Oh, my gosh. Look at this do-it bet board. Look at him. Look at old Starsky there. Yes, we are recapping our season do-it bet board. So it's just a reminder, Kemp and I have chose 3 different matchups, quarterback, wide receiver, and running back that we're going to be following all year. Again, not necessarily your top tier guys, but these are guys when we did our rankings that we kind of had some discrepancies. So like, you know what? Let's pit them against each other and see what happens. So, all right, starting off at the quarterback position, Kemper is going with Trevor Lawrence. I had Jared Goff. Again, just 2 studs right now. So week 1, actually, they were both solid. They weren't bad. They weren't great. They were both solid. You know, Trevor Lawrence ended up with 16.4 points, and Jared Goff ended up with 19.5. So a good debut for both of them on the do-it bet board, showing what they can do. So I think that could be a good matchup this whole season. Going with the running backs, we got Quads himself, A.J. Dillon, and the hungry man, Josh Jacobs. Yes, I think that's like a Snickers chain.
It's a Snickers chain, yeah.
So AJ had a great day. Obviously, he had a touchdown, some good carries, good yardage. So he got a whopping 20.1 points, which is a good start for him. Jacobs, he's shown he's the main guy. He is the guy in Las. I was about to say LV. Who calls it LV?
LV.
He's the main guy in LV.
I'm here. I'm down here in F, a suburb of N.
F. Hey, F. So Jacobs is the guy in Las Vegas, but didn't do too much. Didn't get too many touchdowns. Oh, got no touchdowns. But so he ended up with 8.3 points. And then, man, did our wide receivers light it up. So T. Higgins obviously got knocked out with a concussion. I'm just gonna say that what's his face? Who are
Allen Robinson? He got knocked out too.
I'm just gonna say he got hurt.
I think he had a concussion. He played through a concussion the whole game.
Yes. So T. Higgins ended with 4.7 points, and my boy A-Rob 2.2. So
yeah, one of these guys played the whole game, and one of them did not, and he still outscored him. Not that anything was, no one was lighting it up, but
no. So
come on, T, get back on the field.
There it is, the start of our Do It bet board, and we'll keep you updated and let us know who you want to ride with. We got the pink picks and we got the teal picks. So let's
go pink. Come on,
let's go teal. Look how happy Jared Goff is. He's like, here I am in Detroit. Here I am. I was in the Super Bowl. Remember that, guys?
You remember when I was in the Super Bowl that one time?
That one time. Oh.
All right. So we had a weekly Do It bet as well. Let's not forget about that one. How did that go, Ethan? Who did we have and how did it go?
Moving on to week 2 of the weekly Do It bet board. So yes, last week we did obviously we had our fantasy draft in our league, and these guys went back to back because Kemper had the first pick of that round between the two of us, and he went Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then I followed that pick up with one Allen Robinson. So Allen Robinson had a great start. He had that one catch for 12 yards, which really put me up on the board early. So yeah. I was feeling really good with my 2.2 points. They're like, let's see what you got, Amon-Ra.
It's going to be a blowout.
And Amon-Ra finished with 20.4 points. So
ooh, I think that's more. Is 20 more than 2? I think it is, right?
That's what happens in a draft. I couldn't get Amon-Ra, so I had to go with the next
the next best player got me 2 points.
That shows a big drop off.
Drop off with tears. Let's talk about tears in drafting.
So yes, Kemper won week 1. So now for week 2. Wait, are we doing this now? We're doing this now. We're gonna do it now.
You want to do it now?
You want to wait till the end? We're talking. Do it.
Wait till the end. Do a bet at the end.
Do a bet at the end. Fine.
You have to give people a reason to keep listening.
Well, you also
obviously
want to
do a bet is the whole purpose of the show.
Keep feeding the listeners too. Just like, oh, it's so good. I just want to keep
so much food on this episode. Just wait. There's so much food.
You're right.
You will be fed.
Okay.
We can give an update though on our Run Your Pool NFL fantasy pool that we ran.
Yes.
So runyourpool.com. Check them out if you're looking to run any kind of pools. Super good site. We're big fans.
We
mentioned this. We run all of our pools through them with the pool boys. So we did this fantasy contest where we picked 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, and a flex, and a kicker and a defense, and you get fantasy points for them. But you can only use them once per season. So we had these like crazy lineups where you're trying to think like I use Jonathan Taylor for instance. Like I can't use him for the rest of the season, but I also got 30 points from him. So like probably a good week to use him. Like there's some other guys you use like Mark Andrews where I got like 10. So you got to try and figure out the matchups and also use some strategy to mix in players you want that are going to blow it out and players that you hope are going to blow it out. So week 1, I crushed it. I'm not going to sit here and take a victory lap because we won't know until the end if that was a good strategy or not. But obviously Jonathan Taylor, AJ Brown, both crushed it for me. I ended up with 126.96. Ethan's team shat the bed 85.2. No bueno for E. Not so
good for me. It's all right. I kind of went with
start though.
I still had to figure out my strategy. I think I was trying to get too cutesy in week 1 and not use really too many big names, if any. I did use Russell Wilson, who was meh, but so I think I'm okay now that I can actually use some good players. I hope.
Well, I think there's a good strategy to like wait week 1 out and just see how the defenses look, so you know what a good matchup is, because year to year that stuff changes.
Yeah.
But there's also obviously, not to give away my whole strategy, but there's also like, hey, I want to use this guy before he gets hurt for the season.
That's true.
Like I'm going to use like Dalvin Cook this week and be like, all right, I need Dalvin in your lineup right now because you don't know how long you're going to have him, right?
Very valid.
So, yeah, so that's what you got to do. Anyway, So I crushed it. Mike Williams was one of your picks. Mike Gesicki last week. I know you're high on him this season. Both of them kind of took a dump for you, so that hurts your lineup quite a bit. But we got another lineup coming up later in the show.
Yes,
We'll get a chance of redemption.
Yay!
Pigskin Pick'em update. This is better for you. You came out to a strong
better.
start, 9-6. You were the leader in the clubhouse, 9-6 and I guess 1 because there was a tie. So I am tied with Spicy Jalapeno at 8-7, and then Kyle, Haterade Kyle, way down in the bottom, 6-9. In your face, Kyle. In your face.
In your face, Lindsay. I mean, Kyle. Sorry. Different reference.
Throwback. So that's a long season too, but kudos to you. Off to a good start. Nice week 1 win.
I'll take it. It's interesting because at the beginning of last season when we did the Pigskin Pick'em, I started off, I'd say like the first 7-8 weeks, I was number 1. And then it would just be like a couple, like one difference here or there, and I would just slowly drop. Came a little bit back, but yes, you were the champion at the end of last season.
I think it was pretty substantial by the end, right? I mean, it was
like 4, I think.
I feel like it was like 6-8, somewhere in the range where it was like, there's no chance you're going to catch me. But I also think you threw away some picks at the end there too, because you were like,
well, just to kind of get.
I got to go contrary because I need to catch you, and it obviously didn't work out.
Lions, Chiefs, give me Lions. Give me those.
Yeah, I'll take the Lions. Let's go. That was my big regret from last week's pick'em was I took the Cardinals over the Chiefs. I was like,
because
I was thinking on that.
When I saw the standings, I was like, man, I didn't remember. I thought we only had 2 different, so I thought we were going to be splitting. I was like, what was the third? And then I was like, oh, he picked the Cards.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Not my finest moment. But I have a shot at redemption, and it starts right now. Today, redemption is spelled R-O-Y. That's an Anchorman reference about R-O-N. But I'm Roy Kent. Oi! Spice of picks.
I'm not wrong.
Fuck.
Whoa. Language.
I told you. Hey, I gave an explicit warning at the beginning. It's going to be explicit
We're going to have
content.
to put the E on our episode. We'll put the little E.
Yeah.
Ooh,
okay.
I'm kind of excited about that now.
Let's do it. Let's figure out how we do that.
Oh, I got it.
All right. Keely.
Now they're just going to be flying. All right. So tonight, Thursday night matchup. This is a good one. We got the Chargers going to the Chiefs. 82% of the world has picked the Chiefs as of right now. What say you, Matt Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I thought this would be a really, really competitive game. Keenan Allen being out obviously hurts the Chargers a ton. And honestly, I'm just going to go with that new logo, the throwback logo on the Chiefs field. That's really throwing me. So,
is that the one? So, like, it was a toss-up for you, and then you realize that once I told you at the field.
Yeah, it actually had nothing to do with Keenan Allen and everything to do with the field. So, okay. I'm going to go with the Chiefs on this one. I learned my lesson last week. They came out and looked sharp as hell, and I think they'll be just fine.
As I always like to say, they're playing in Kansas City, vaunted Arrowhead Stadium.
Arrowhead Stadium.
And the fact that Keenan Allen's hurt. I know the Chargers won last week, and, Herbert looked good and all that. I expected just a little bit more. Maybe I expected more to both teams, the Chargers and the Raiders. But so I was a little shocked that one, it was a lower scoring game and it was that close. So the fact that Keenan Allen's gone, I hope that means that Mike Williams will show up and Austin Eckler can do a little bit more. But I mean, the Chiefs look ridiculous last week, and they're playing at home with the new logo on midfield. So going Chiefs as well.
Can't beat the logo. Yeah, I expected more from Eckler and Mike Williams obviously last week. So they gotta fix a few things, but I think they'll be fine. And I think this will be competitive. I don't think it's gonna be like a blowout because Keenan Allen's not there. I just don't know that the Chargers are gonna have quite enough firepower
to keep
because
up.
of that. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Jets heading to Cleveland to take on the Brownies. This will be a thriller. What do you like here?
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, as I think they did with a lot of people, the Browns surprised some people last week. I mean, granted, they're still playing the Panthers, which is not a top-tier team, but they surprised in what they could do. The running backs both look great, proving, as Kemp always says, that they can both eat and get theirs. Kareem Hunt, obviously, with the touchdowns, and Chubb still churning up yards. I didn't realize, I was looking up Nick Chubb. He was second in the league last year in yards. Granted, it wasn't like a massive number. He was 1,300, but that's really good. That's solid.
That is a lot. And I mean, Derrick Henry was out half the season, so he had about 1,300 in the first 8 games. But it's true. I mean, he's a pure rusher, man. He's like the only pure rusher left in the league, and it's freaking good. I mean, it's unreal. We've said this before. I'm not going to go on the tangent, but he's 6 or 7 yard average is unreal.
Yep. And so, the double running backs and Jacoby Brissett just looking completely competent. I mean, the Jets did not. Granted, they were playing a tough Ravens team, but Joe Flacco is not the answer here. And they were shocked that, or it wasn't shocked, but I was reading that, yes, Joe Flacco is still getting the start in week 2. So I'm going with Cleveland at home.
Where's my boy Mike White? You know what I'm saying? Where's he at? I'm with you again.
Real quick on Mike White. So I was listening to ESPN radio, and Mike Greenberg is a huge Jets guy. Like, he loves the Jets. And they were talking about why didn't Mike White play last week? He goes, you want to know why Mike White didn't play? Because he is not a good quarterback. Like, he should not be playing. And this is a Jets fan saying that. Like, he is not a good quarterback. There's a reason Joe Flacco is in, is because Mike White is trash. Otherwise, he would be on another team playing. So
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It sure didn't look that way last year. Whenever he did get in, and he was
2 games. Woo!
I mean, like, obviously he's gonna have mistakes, but so does Joe Flacco. Like, Joe Flacco is not good either. He's like 40 at this point. So like, I don't know what you have to lose there. You've got a future backup. At least you could determine if he's your future backup. Like a Brian Hoyer kind of situation. Like, why not? Joe Flacco is not your future.
Fun fact: Brian Hoyer started for the Browns at one point in his career. So.
That is a very fun fact. I'm going to go with the Browns here as well. The defense, I think both defenses actually proved something last week, but I'm going to go with the Browns. They were more impressive overall. I think the Jets have more weapons, honestly, across the board. But
Michael Carter,
I don't trust Flacco.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now we're going where the world has a split decision. Is it the Carson Wentz Commanders?
This is awesome.
Is it the One Pride Lions? I mean, this could be a fun game to watch in Detroit. I wish I could get tickets to this one.
This will be an offensive explosion, I think. This could be a lot of fun. I don't even know where to start. I mean, Washington was very surprising, but it was against the Jags, and I think this will be kind of a similar game where you're like, they're scrappy, give them that, but these teams are kind of bottom of the barrel. They've got some talent. There's some guys there that you like, and so you're going to see these flashes. The Washington defense is supposedly, for the last 3 years, has supposedly been a beast, but they don't ever show up on game day. I don't know what's going on there. The Lions came storming back against the Eagles. Obviously, almost kind of pulled that out. I don't think the Eagles, they took their foot off the gas and then realized, like, I got to put it back on. It was kind of too late.
Yeah.
But this is my Hard Knocks bias, but I'm going with the Lions, man. I love the Lions. I got to go with my boy Amon-Ra. Let's go.
Yeah, I too went with the Lions. Again, the Lions are right there. They're that team that if they can just figure it out and put them all together at the same time, they could be fun and scary to watch. And I think, again, this is just such a good foil matchup in the sense that they're both kind of in that same vein. You don't know what you're going to get with Carson Wentz. You don't know what you're going to get with Jared Goff. Like DeAndre Swift, Miles, like this is just why did I say Miles Sanders? Sorry, I meant Antonio Gibson.
Antonio Gibson, who looked good last week.
Who did look good.
Good young receivers on both these teams.
Terry McLaurin,
Amon-Ra, Amon-Ra. Yeah.
But I think this is where I hope in the Lions can just show, all right, we're moving the right direction, and I think this is the game to do it. So I'm going Detroit as well.
I think we're not going to say must win, but if this Dan Campbell thing is working, this is a game they will win.
They have to show it. Last season, it was early with the Bears, and they blew it. This season, it's early with the Commanders, who I think is a better team. And if they can beat this team, that's a good sign. It's a good sign.
These are two good coaches, though. I mean, Ron Rivera is a great coach, too. I like Dan Campbell a lot as a coach, and I would really love to see his style work because I think I would love to see more of it in the NFL. So if it works, that's great. It sucks when something like that is really inspirational and looks like it's going to be a lot of fun and it's going to be like rebuilding and all that, and it never really gets together and the guy doesn't get it. He was like 4-14 and he gets fired or something. You're like, yeah, never works. You got to be a Belichick, Like I'd love to see a guy like him do it instead,
True. It's kind of like the Brad Stevens of NFL. It's just like that fun little guy. Look at Brad.
Except Brad looked like he was an accountant and actually was an accountant.
And 12 years old, but yes.
He was 12. Yeah, Dan Campbell looks like he could get on the field at any given moment. Still
rips one's knees out.
On. All right, so we got a divisional rivalry here. We get the Bucs going to New Orleans. Brady has struggled against New Orleans since he's been in Tampa. 0-4 regular season against them. What do you think?
I was going to say that like, I'm picking the Bucs, but honestly, I shouldn't because, as you said, they never beat New Orleans, especially in New Orleans. Whatever it is, whatever mojo voodoo dolls they're using, they have their number. And New Orleans looked looked solid last year. Jarvis Landry looked good. Michael Thomas shows he's back. The question mark is Alvin Kamara. Obviously, he was a little bruised up, banged up back there. Jameis looks solid. But, I mean, Tampa Bay, this is where Tommy shows up. I think he realizes, I think he knows the chatter's out there about New Orleans. He's going to be like, nope, they don't have my number. I'm going to show it here. I'm going Tampa.
I mean, do you think Tom Brady likes losing 4 in a row to a team? No, but he's already done that. Like I think he could have at any point last year when Drew Brees is already gone and you got Taysom Hill or Jameis or Trevor Siemian or whoever they ended up playing against. Like at any point he could have been like, nah, I'm Tom Brady. Not going to happen.
I'm Tom Brady.
This year, he's not going to have Godwin. And don't get me started on Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore. Like, don't get me started on that whole thing. You know how I feel about that.
You better be picking these Saints. You better be picking
that every game. I don't want to pick the Saints because I totally agree with you. And everything in my 20 plus years of watching Tom Brady says, oh, he ain't going to let it happen. But he has. Weirdly. I think in the second game in Tampa, I think the Bucs take care of business because Godwin's back. They're fully healthy, whatever.
This is
I'm going with the Saints.
You're going with the Saints. It's similar to the Patriots in Miami. They always lose in Miami. And so now Bucs going to New Orleans. They seem to always lose. So you're going Saints. Good for you. I appreciate it.
New Orleans ain't an easy place to play, man.
I appreciate you backing it up. I appreciate that. So
I'm going with it. I don't love it, to be honest. I don't love it, but I'm going with it. And I'm worried about Kamara too. Like Kamara's going to struggle in this game. The run defense for the Bucs is legit.
But I mean, we talked about him too, that when he plays with Jameis, his numbers drop. Like he is not as effective. I don't know if it's the game plan or Jameis is doing all those crazy prep.
He didn't check it down that much, and I don't know if they don't call the designed passes to the running backs. They're going to have to do that this game, I think, because he's not going to be able to run. So there's going to be nowhere to go. Look out for the honey badger. Pick off Tommy B though. Look out.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right, next we got the Carolina Panthers heading to the resurgent New York Football Giants. Who you got?
Ugh. Do we have to pick this game?
Well, it's so crazy. If you remember a couple years back when it was Saquon's rookie year, you had him and McCaffrey on your squad. I was like, oh my God.
And I still didn't win a championship.
No, you didn't.
Ridiculous. Okay, so boy, I don't know what to take from the Giants. Like, I don't know if they're just like, oh my gosh, they're actually good because they beat the Titans. Like, the Titans shit the bed. They shit the bed. The Panthers looked competitive, but the Browns don't have an offense. Like, I don't know what to take from either of these teams. I really feel like we don't know. Kind of a pick 'em for me, kind of a toss up. I'm going to give the edge to the Giants on this one at home and think that maybe it's a new regime and we've got energy from a road win in week 1 and let's go. They're coming off a win. I think the momentum's in their favor.
Yeah. I too actually went with the Giants, kind of going against my better judgment, but I liked what I saw to Saquon. I'm really hoping this is a thing that he continues to do for many reasons, but I think it'll be good for the game if he's back, and it'll be good for my fantasy team if he's back. So, they showed their grit against the Titans in Tennessee. Like, that's tough. That's a tough place to be. And the fact that they eked it out, they should have lost. Obviously, right hash Randy missed it, but I don't know.
Appreciate the comment on that, Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill jumped on our YouTube to comment on that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate him letting us know that Ed is his side. He likes the right hash. So
he created a YouTube account just to make that comment, by the way. Yeah. He just created that account. So I know he's a diehard fan of the show. Ryan, much love. Let's turn things around. Come on, tighten up.
So I just think there's a different feel in New York now. They love what they're hearing about their coach. I think it's just a different feel. Maybe they get Tony involved this game, and that would be even an X factor. I'm going with the Giants.
Yeah, the Browns ran all over the Panthers, so I don't have a lot of faith in them stopping Saquon. All right, here we go. Patriots Steelers, your favorite matchup. I know you say the Patriots always lose in Miami, but the Steelers are the bane of your existence. What do you think is going to happen here? Are we going to have Najee? Are we going to have Mac? He's getting an X-ray on his back. I mean, what's going on?
I think the word is that we're going to have Mac. We need him. This is a weird kind of gross matchup as well, but it's one that is a classic one, and it's in not Heinz Field. I already forgot what they renamed their field. It's some like insurance company. I don't remember.
Oh, boo.
Or it's
different
like
condiment. Duke's Mayo. Come on.
Duke's Mayo Field. In Pittsburgh, it's tough, but you know what? I'm going with the upset here, and it's not just my homer bias. It's just something that we know how to Bill knows how to prepare for them. And if Najee's limited, even if he's playing, if he's hurt like that, that speaks well for the Patriots. I don't know. There's just something in my gut. The Patriots don't really lose too many games in a row. Start 0-2 would be kind of unheard of. So I don't know. Something inside. I mean, this is not just my homer bias, but I'm feeling the Patriots this week. I swear it's not my homer bias.
Absolutely your homer bias. That's exactly what it is. Man. Something inside of you is 25 years of Patriot fandom and knowing Bill Belichick. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, the team better than I do, for sure. Better than most of our listeners. I'm surprised at this. I mean, I'm surprised that 24% of the world is picking the Patriots. I mean, that's a big underdog.
It is
against the Steelers with Mitch Trubisky. Like, wow. Really surprised by that. It's not as simple as Steelers beat Bengals. Bengals were in the Super Bowl last year. So Steelers were in the Super Bowl this year.
It's
not as simple as that.
It's not A to B, B to C. Come on.
It's not a transitive property. I'm very concerned about the Patriots offense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we had some concerns going into the season, but they just kind of always find a way, and they're always competitive, and their defense is good and whatever. I'm very concerned about the Steelers offense. Same thing. These teams are kind of mirror image, to me. So this is a tough pick, and I don't want to watch this game because I have no interest in these teams and what's going to happen here. But I think Najee plays, and I think he's a bit of a decoy, so you have to game plan for him, and that opens things up a little bit. Belichick takes away your best weapon. Is it going to be Najee? Is it going to be Deontay? Who's he going to take away? This could be a game where you see Pickens emerge and come out because
of Freiermuth.
Maybe Freiermuth. I mean, who knows? Call me crazy. I'm going with the Steelers.
But why is that crazy? Again, this is where you're so we recapped that we didn't actually crap on the Steelers last episode.
We ran the tape back, by the way.
We did.
Mr.
We ran it back.
Fan. We did not shit
on them. Kemp was less on them than I was, but in no means was either one of us shitting on them. But here, let's see, call me crazy. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. It's not that crazy of a pick.
With 76% of the world picking them too, it's obviously not crazy.
The world
is all over the Steelers, but I don't know. Maybe there's momentum. It's sort of like that Lions or the what game was it where the Giants game? What game was it where I cared about momentum?
Lions.
The Giants game. Like maybe it's momentum. You got maybe a better locker room situation right now. If Mac is banged up, that's a problem. Although I'd love to see Bailey Zapp out there. Bailey
Zapp, dude, difference maker. He'll just vault Brian Poyer. It's like, nope, we're just putting Bailey.
I'd love to see him. Just throw him in there, please. I want to see it.
All right, moving on to your division, the AFC South. Colts visiting Jags. Who you got?
Yeah, I mean, I would have very easily taken the Colts in this before last week. They tied the Texans, which was a garbage team, and the Jaguars showed some fight. So this one could be a close game. I think the Colts are going to come out of the gates and run the ball as much as they can. So they learned their lesson not to start out getting cutesy with the pass and let Matt Ryan do his thing. I think Matt Ryan will be good, but I think they lost their identity a little bit last week. So I think this week it's the Jonathan Taylor show again. I'm going to go with the Colts, but it's not going to shock me if the Jags make this competitive. And of course, they won last year.
They did.
To spoil the Colts playoff bid.
You picked the Jags last week, man. I thought you were going to ride with them again, but the Colts are going to right the ship. If they don't, they might ship out their coach. He might be done. I mean, you can't be doing this anymore. Honestly, you always say I throw this around. It's a must win for the Colts, but they're going to do it. Matty Ryan. I hope it's the Michael Pittman show, but I think you're right. Yeah. They got to go back to basics and go to Jonathan Taylor. It's going to be him all day, and Colts.
Yeah, not as easy of a pick as the little analysis we just gave you.
Yes.
All right, Miami traveling to Baltimore. Interesting game here. Who you got?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Honestly, I didn't think it would be interesting, but speaking truthfully about the Dolphins, I feel like they should have done more against the Patriots. They
got up early and it kind of just plateaued.
Right. It's kind of like meh. So that kind of concerned me a little bit. That put up a little red flag. But I guess you could say the same thing about the Ravens. They should have put more up against the Jets. So Ravens playing at home. Lamar looked good. The running back situation is kind of a mess just with all the injuries they've got. But they've proven they can scrap it together. I'm giving the slight edge to Baltimore just because I don't think the consistency is there yet for Miami, whereas Baltimore, there seems to be more of that. They know what they got. They know how they work, how they operate. Rashad Bateman looked good, your boy. So, you still got Mark Andrews. I think he can blow it out. He was kind of quiet week 1. I think this is his time to really kind of show. I just think John Harbaugh, he's a great coach. He's going to show like, hey, we're here to stay. We're back. Even though we got some injuries, we know how to figure it out. And Miami's just not there yet. So I don't think the consistency is there. So I'm going Baltimore at home.
So I got you on campus with this one time with the Ravens because Devin Duvernay, who I said I think is their number 2 receiver, went to Texas. And he showed last week he is their number 2 receiver. I mean, he had a nice game. And so if they found something there and they can actually, if there's any chance Lamar can support 2 receivers and Mark Andrews, this is a very different team. Now, they didn't have a running back, so they probably had to rely on that a little bit more. And I don't think that situation is totally resolved yet. J.K. Dobbins is still questionable. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of like you. Like, I didn't like what I saw of these teams in the second half last week. They were in very similar situations. They both got out kind of early, and then they sort of just did nothing else. I'm actually going to go with the Dolphins here. I like the energy there better. And I don't know. I like the weapons better. I like new coaching situation. Call me an optimist. I like it.
Okay. So you're on the Tua train. I like that too.
Tua train.
All right. Your Falcons heading to your Rams. Oh my gosh. This is hard, man. These are 2 of your squads. So what's happening? What are you going to do?
I am wearing the Falcons jersey today. I love my man Mariota. The Rams, whoa, they looked brutal last week. And the Falcons actually were surprisingly competitive against the Saints and should have won the game. So this, I don't know why it necessarily is a 97% favorite for the Rams. I can't bring myself to pick the Falcons, but it ain't going to shock me. As bad as the Rams looked, if they don't turn things around, they will lose this game.
Okay. I'm going with the Rams. I think that was just kind of an anomaly what they did on Thursday night. Bills are a great team. Shoot. I mean, maybe that just shows how good the Bills are this year. Yeah. But I don't think you're going to see that train wreck of a show from the Rams again. That literally everything went wrong. And I don't think you're going to see that again. So I'm going LA.
It came out too. Cam Akers, I think, was in the doghouse. So one of the reasons he didn't play that much, he pissed off McVay or something. And I think he's going to be back this week. Not that I don't know how many carries he's going to get. Don't quote me on him being the lead dog.
Don't quote me. Lead dog in the dog
there. But hopefully we'll see more Cam Akers this week and see how that goes. I don't know what the update is on Damian Williams for the Falcons. So you could see a lot of Cordero Patterson. You may see Tyler Algier this game.
I don't want to see more Cam Akers. So Sean, just keep him in the doghouse. I'm playing against him. So keep him low, please.
Keep a low profile. All right. We got Seattle traveling to San Fran to take on the 49ers. Both these teams were surprises in week 1.
I was going to say that their records are flip-flopped to what they thought they were going to be. Yep. Man, I'm surprised it's actually this much of a discrepancy considering what we saw out of week 1. As I'm saying, with the world picking 78% of the Niners for 22% going to the Seahawks. Man, it was wild. Ricky, congrats to you. I had to pick up one Geno Smith. He is officially on my squad. So maybe he'll be starting this week. We don't know.
Starting this week.
So I don't know. In San Fran, or I guess I would say in Santa Clara, it's actually like 45 minutes away from San Francisco.
Yeah.
But Levi Stadium, vaunted. No, it's not vaunted. It's actually very nice and calm there. But I feel like the Niners needed that kind of shot in the mouth, because they've been a very hyped up, talked about team in the offseason that they have Super Bowl aspirations. This is the team. Debo's back. He's a beast. Trey Lance is the next great superstar. And they got punched in the mouth. It was a tough game anyway, just with the weather. So I think that was good, honestly, that they need to say, hey, you still need to figure stuff out and you need to put it together and show people. And I think this is going to be a game where they can. So I'm going to give the edge to San Francisco just because obviously the Seahawks had a great week 1 playing against a tough Denver team at home. I just want to see more consistency on them first before we start crowning them NFC West champs.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree with everything you're saying. They did lose Elijah Mitchell, which is a big hit. Now that they're another team that schemes the running game really well, so other guys can step in and be successful. But I don't think Jeff Wilson is Elijah Mitchell. So I'm interested to see what happens in the backfield there, and if it is just the Jeff Wilson show, or if they let these rookies jump in there, this could be the week that somebody takes off. On the flip side, this could be the week that Kenneth Walker takes off for Seattle. I think the Seattle run defense was not good against Denver. That's going to be exposed with San Fran. I agree with what you're saying. I think so much emotion was let out there for that first week. It was in Seattle, which is a tough place to play, and they were loud. I think it's going to be tough to get back up for this game for Seattle, even though these are professionals, what they do. I think they were just, man, that game was circled. That first week was circled on the calendar,
Obviously, yeah.
So I'm going to give the edge to San Fran as well.
Okay, there we go. All right, now we are heading back to Denver since they were on the road first, and they're hosting the surprising Texans.
You skipped one. You skipped over the Bengals, and
I did. I skipped.
Did you skip it because Dak's gone and you didn't want to talk about Cooper Rush for 10 minutes?
The former Chip. Excuse me. So yes, we're going to Dallas. Actually, we're not going to Denver yet. So the Bengals, but the 0-1 Bengals against the 0-1 boys. Who you got?
They said this game, like before Dak's injury, was probably going to be a pick 'em, and now it's like an 8.5 point Bengals favorite. So that's what it tells you about Cooper Rush. Dallas got a lot to figure out, man, and Cooper Rush is not the answer. I got to go with the Bengals. They got to turn it around, and they're gonna come out mad.
Yeah, going Bengals too. Cowboys. I know Dak went down relatively early, but they still weren't showing it. CD. Honestly, I still think CD is going to show out a little bit more. Again, Cooper Rush is in there. He's got to go to his dog, his main man, his go-to guy. It's going to be CD. So I expect the Bengals to win, but look out for CD. Don't be down on him just because Cooper Rush is in there.
Don't drop him. Don't drop CD Lamb.
Don't drop Cooper Rush. Keep him on your team.
Cooper Rush's man could be someone else though, like Noah Brown, or oftentimes his backups come in and they've got a guy from the practice squad or from the the second team that they like. So somebody else could emerge. You never know.
Never know. I'm just saying.
Let's go. Why don't we go to Denver now? How about that?
Oh, now we can.
Houston Texans coming off of a very impressive tie in week 1, heading to Denver, coming off of a very surprising loss against Seattle in week 1. Who you got here?
It's funny you say a very what was the word you just said? A what tie? Impressive tie.
Impressive tie.
Never thought I'd hear those words. Like, man, I was impressed with them tying that team. Like, oh, that just shows, just by that sentence alone, it shows what the expectations are for this Texans team this year. Yeah. So the fact they're like, oh my God, they tied someone. Yes. No, this is your classic comeback game. The Broncos are fired up. They already have bulletin board material from Pete Carroll, Carroll was laughing on the sidelines as the closing seconds were going off. So they're ramped up. Melvin Gordon is fired up. They can't lose. Shoot, I know he's a new coach. If they lose this game, he might be gone. So this is Hackett's game. Broncos are winning at home.
Yeah, make better calls, Hackett. Make better calls. You blew it. You pulled a Pete Carroll. You blew it. And you got creative and cutesy and you blew it. So that's probably why I was laughing.
Yeah, I wasn't watching the Manning cast live, but I saw recaps of it just to see Peyton in that final drive. Just like he's like this the whole time. He's like telling goes like call time. Like just dumbfounded at what Hackett was doing. It was kind of spectacular.
You left out my boy Javonte Williams. You say Melvin Gordon's fired up. Javonte Williams.
Well, that's because Melvin Gordon had the quotable. So that's why I was just referring to his quote.
That's fine. They both fumbled on the goal line.
They did.
They should have won that game by 14, honestly. But yeah, I'm going Broncos at home. It's a get right game. I think they'll get right.
Okay. Now we got your Cardinals going to the LV Raiders. What's happening here?
I got to say, the Cardinals looked like garbage last week. Yeah. Absolute garbage. And I don't know that it gets better this week, honestly. Their defense is porous, not good. The offense couldn't really get things going against Kansas City. I'm going with the Raiders, man. I think the Raiders show they can use Devontae the right way.
Yeah.
They got to get the run game going. Josh Jacobs only had 10 carries. That's not going to get it done long term, but they were in a bit of a shootout with the Chargers. So give me the Raiders at home.
Yeah. I mean, as you said, the Cardinals look like complete trash. I think this could be the beginning of the end of Cliff Kingsbury, and it's not going to get any better in Las Vegas. So I'm going Raiders too.
Kingsbury's going to have to surge at the end of the year. We talked about this preseason about DeAndre being suspended. And we're kind of like, hey, maybe this is like the opposite game script for them. Maybe they come out and suck and they get better and they make a run in the playoffs. That's going to have to happen or Kingsbury's going to be gone. I think I agree.
I think just on Kingsbury's resume is I coached Patrick Mahomes in college. Like that's just like his number one line. It's like, there it is.
I knew Mahomes one time.
I knew him.
All right. How about the Bears heading to Green Bay to take on the Packers?
And again, records are flip-flopped here. So it's kind of interesting. I'm going Green Bay just because once again, as you pointed out, and everyone's pointing out, Aaron Rodgers say, yep, everyone count us out. Please just count us out. And then we're still going to win this division. We're going to win the conference, all that jazz. It's going to be a tougher road, no question. Obviously, there's some questions with the receivers, but honestly, he has a part to play in that by calling them out in the offseason, talking about all the drops, and just, let's be honest, Aaron Rodgers is a diva. He is, and he's making that well known.
It's kind of a dick, yeah.
You can't do that, but I think they're going to be doing it at home. Bears, obviously the week 1 surprise win against the Niners in that monsoon, but I still think the Packers are going to have their numbers. He likes to say he owns the Bears, so I'm going with the Pack.
Boy, there's plenty of bulletin board material here for both teams, honestly. The Bears, they didn't like being told they were owned, but that didn't stop him from owning them, unfortunately. I do think that this could be, my brother kind of messaged us like that second half against the Niners could be the turnaround for Fields. Like it could be kind of his like opportunity to be a coming out party kind of thing. I don't know that this is the week for him to really shine. Although Green Bay's secondary looked absolutely terrible against Justin Jefferson last week. Now, like the Bears don't have a Jefferson.
So it is JJ.
Yeah, they don't have a Jefferson on the Bears. But I'm going to take the Packers at home. I think Rodgers does completely ball out. And this is what I said last time about this happened last year. First week, they threw a dud. Everyone said he's toast. He came back and just went nuts. I don't think the Packers are going to win the conference. So I don't see that happening. Division, maybe. Right. But conference, no. Okay.
All right, man. Tough week 2 matchup for your Titans heading to Buffalo. You going with he already just clicked it. Just Bills. Boom.
Give me the Bills. Man, I'm so disappointed right now with the Titans. I have not lost all faith in them, but
nor should
this is more of a the Bills looked unbeatable. Yeah. It's Monday night in Buffalo. Granted the Titans beat them last year. So
they did.
The Titans won all the hard games and lost easy ones last year. They could be doing the same thing here, but that's going to be a very tall order. I don't see it happening with this team.
Bills home opener. The Mafia is going to be out there breaking tables. So now I'm going Buffalo at home. That's a tough place to play anyway. Bills looked ridiculous. So it's crazy, man. Bills have just gone like this, and watch out. Bills.
They're taking off, dude. They're taking off. Listen, we got a doubleheader this Monday.
Hey-o.
Double header. We'll get the Vikings heading to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. I actually think this is going to be a great game. And I also think this could be a potential playoff matchup as well.
Ooh.
So tell me what you like here.
What I like here are the offenses. They both look good. Vikings against the Pack and then Eagles against the Lions. They both look solid. Hurts had a great start, and the whole running game on the Eagles looked great. Obviously, Cousins to Jet was spectacular. And they were just kind of steady. It wasn't blowing out in any means. And obviously they had the flashes with Jefferson. But this could be a shootout. Could be a good one. As you say, it could be a playoff matchup. I'm going to give the slight edge to Minnesota just because, again, I don't know why I'm harping this week on consistency and just knowing where they're at. I think they're going to try and get Dalvin a little more involved. I think that's going to help them out. DeAndre Swift had a great game against the Eagles. So I think they saw with Dalvin's kind of a very comparable player to that. So I think he could go off. I'm giving the slight edge to Mini.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised as a 61% Vikings to 39 Eagles. I thought this would be more of a 50-50, really. Yeah. And it's not like the Vikings looked that good in week 1. They looked good, and they beat Packers. Good for them. But they didn't look like unbeatable by any stretch. No. And the Eagles looked really good until they let the Lions back in. So I don't know what that says about the Eagles, if they're that explosive on offense or if it was just the Lions. The defense obviously had its holes and let the Lions back in. I'm also going to go with the firepower of the Vikings and the continuity of the teams. I think you're right about Dalvin. I think this is a get-right game for him. Jefferson looked absolutely unguardable. Thielen's still out there, looks pretty good. KJ Osborne, I think they'll get it done here, but I think this will be a great game.
Whew. What's your tiebreaker, man?
Tiebreaker, I'm going to go with pretty medium scoring game. The average in the league is 48. I'm going to go 50 on this one.
Ooh, I put 51.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
Here we go. Okay. Pigskin Pick'em in the books. Whew. All right. That was a long one, man. What do you say we take a little trivia break?
Oh, let's do it. I got some stuff for you here.
All right. I'm excited.
If I can find it.
Oh, he's like, wait, if I can find it. Then
if I can find it anywhere.
Okay, so we're doing some Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso trivia.
Ted Lasso trivia. I am ready whenever you are, my friend. Okay. We're doing 5 questions, right?
5 questions.
Okay.
I think you'll probably crush these because I didn't give enough credit to how well you know this. All right. So, what was Ted Lasso's son's name?
Oh God! Once again, you did this to me last season at one point. Like, all right, I'm gonna start up with a softball, and then did not get it. Man, I don't want to think too hard about it. I don't know. I'm gonna say Cooper, but that's not right.
His name is Henry.
Henry. Why is that?
0 for 1.
That's not like an easy question for like a character.
It would have been easy had you watched the show, but it's been, like I said, 6 to 8 months. Like all of a sudden,
total episodes. But okay,
I was a little surprised when you wanted to do this for trivia because I was like,
it's not easy.
Questions that would be easy if we were watching it in season.
True.
Do you know who the character Roy Kent was modeled after? Oi.
Was it like Wayne Rooney?
Kind of close. It is an actual soccer player. Roy Keane, who was uber famous and was also very prickly, like Roy Kent. And
the name is quite similar. Fitting.
And Roy Kent and Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Might have given it away. Probably didn't know Roy Keane off the top of your head. You're probably like, oh, I've heard of him, but you weren't like in your
like once I heard the name, like that name sounds like a soccer guy. So I gotta go.
Yeah. He was known for being competitive and aggressive and often angry.
Okay. I like it.
There you go.
Roy
okay. 0 for 2. I'll start here. What is the name of the group that comprises Ted, Beard, Nate, and Higgins? They give relationship advice.
Diamond Dogs. Diamond Dogs.
Diamond Dogs. That's right.
Round up.
I love this.
Does Roy want to be part of the Diamond Dogs? No.
No. I did say eventually Roy.
All you do in these meetings is talk about it, but then you don't really come up with any answers. Oh, yeah. Basically, that's kind of what happened. All right.
I'm in. So yeah, Roy was eventually a Diamond Dog, an honorary Diamond Dog. Okay, do you know what country Sam is from?
Oh, he's from Africa. What country? Oh man. Was it Nigeria?
It was Ghana. This is the worst trivia ever. You're not bad. You're not just not bad. It's just we probably got a little over our skis on this one.
It's all good.
Okay, this one you should get this one. What American football team did Ted coach before getting the job at Richmond?
The Shockers of Wichita State.
Pew, pew, That's pew. Right.
I'm from Kansas, Cowboys.
I'm a Kansas Cowboy. Yep. So I looked at, as I was reading through the trivia and stuff, it talked about the inspiration for this character in general. It's a combination of a few people, including his dad. But he had a high school basketball coach who was from Kansas, and he used to use all these little colloquial sayings all the time. And one that he mentioned was, he'd yell at me, Sudeikis, you look more nervous than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Like, God, when people come up with that stuff, it just cracks me up.
Wow. Okay. All right. 2 out of 5. I'll take it.
2 out of 5. 40%.
That's fine.
What are you going to do, man?
I'm fine with it.
What are you going to do? Okay. Well, listen, we've got to come up with our fantasy lineups for this week in the very intriguing Run Your Pool FITC NFL Fantasy League.
Yes.
What do you say?
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Lineup ready?
Are we going to alternate, or how are we doing it?
Yeah, we can alternate.
All right. My quarterback, I'm going with David Carr.
David Carr. Derek Carr or David Carr. You going with David Carr?
I'm going with David.
With David Carr. Yes.
Give me David Carr. I wish he was still on that list. Yes, I'm going with his brother, Derek.
His brother, David Carr. Okay, perfect. I love it. Well, I mentioned him earlier. He's gonna own the Bears this week. I'm going with A. Rodgers.
Oh, he does own them. Okay.
This is gonna be. I mean, he could have 5 touchdowns this week. This is one of those games where he's like, he mad.
Well, that's why I figured Derek Carr is gonna have 5 touchdowns because Patty Mahomes did against the Cardinals. So same idea.
I almost went with Derek Carr. Not a bad pick.
I mean, David. You went with David Carr too.
I did go with David Carr though. He's in my flex.
He's in my flex. That'd be awesome. You could put a QB there.
Super flex.
All right. Yeah. My running back 1. He is the running back 1. Saquon. Barkley.
Very nice. Nice pick. We talked about him. We think he's back. I'm going with Antonio Gibson here. The Commanders. Let's go. They get the Lions this week. It should be a bit of a shootout, and he's the only back they got. He's catching passes now. He looked like a light Christian McCaffrey last week.
Crazily enough, I too went with Antonio Gibbs as my second running back because I was like, the Eagles just ran all over the Lions. I figured
they had 4 rushing touchdowns, so
okay. So
if he gets half of that, I think we're happy. My other running back is my boy Javonte Williams. Let's go.
Did have 30 catches out the backfield, so that helps.
He had 11 catches.
Yeah. All right, so I'm doubling down on the Raiders here. I'm going with Devontae to go with Derek Carr. Watch out, D. Adams.
Yeah, that's why I said Derek Carr was a good pick because I also went with Devontae. I think this is a unguardable situation. And he had 17 targets, was it last week? He had 40% of the target share. Insane.
Something like that. Something ungodly.
Okay.
So yes. All right. This was a daily fantasy killer for Kemper.
Jones?
Cooper Kupp. Watch
out.
Every week I played Cooper Kupp and you didn't. You just got torched.
Oh my God. That was so brutal. I'll never forget that.
So yes.
And every time I tried to play him, although we'd both play him, I'd get like 10 points. I'm like,
yep.
I don't know.
I figured he's going to light those Falcons up.
I'm going on the opposite side here with the Commanders. I'm going Amon-Ra St. Brown, my boy, in a shootout against the Commanders. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, sticking with your Lions, I'm going with TJ Hawkinson for my tight end.
Nice. Good pick up there. I am going with Travis Kelce because, again, got to use him when you got to use him. And I'm going to go for it now. He torched the Chargers last year in the second game. Now they've beefed up their secondary, so I'm a little concerned about this, but I think they're going to have to rely on him.
Okay. Well, I am going with Greg Joseph as my kicker. Watch out.
Of the Vikings, I'm going with Brandon McManus of the Broncos. They're playing the Texans. A lot of points here.
For my flex, I decided to go with one Deebo Samuel. I figured, Elijah Mitchell's gone. He's going to get some rushes. I just like them kind of in this bounce back game. So going with
that's
Deebo.
A really good pick. I'm throwing back to one of your running backs. I'm taking Saquon in the flex.
Oh, okay. Damn it.
I know you're going to be mad about that, but yeah, I took Saquon in the flex there.
And then, excuse me, for my Rams defense going up against those Falcones. So going to show them.
I don't know if that's a great call. I'm taking the Bengals this week, and they've got the Cooper Rush Dallas Cowboys.
Damn it. That was smart.
Go.
I didn't think about that. Damn. That's smart.
Didn't think about that. Boom. Okay. So there's our lineups. I'll run through mine again real quick here. I've got Aaron Rodgers, Antonio Gibson, Javonte Williams, Devontae Adams, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, Travis Kelce at the tight end, Saquon Barkley at the flex, Brandon McManus as kicker, and the Bengals defense.
And I got Derek Carr, Saquon Barkley, Antonio Gibson, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, TJ Hawkinson, Greg Joseph, Deebo Samuel, and the Rams D.
I like it. Let's see what happens. Again, this is a long season. This is not like DFS. You can only use these guys once. So if I come out and crush the first couple weeks, doesn't necessarily mean anything. You're saving some guys too, but you're using Saquon. You're using Devontae Adams. Like you're getting the hang of it.
I wanted to go big this week because I am kind of behind a little bit, so I wanted to go big just to maybe make up some ground. So
I can't wait to unleash Cooper Kupp on you later.
I can't wait till he gets 5 points for you.
Then it hurts you most. He's going to get injured before I use him. And I'm
like, no.
Done for the year. No.
All right. So I tried.
Let's get a do-it bet for the week.
I tried to do this earlier in the episode. You wouldn't let me, but now it's time for our weekly
do-it. Time. Do it.
Okay. So as you know, we just kind of do a random kind of selection of the weekly do-it bet. We got our season-long do-it bet board, but now we're just doing it for the week-to-week. And so we liked this one last season. We did rookie wide receivers. So we're just going to pick one. Last year I chose Jamar Chase, and you had
Devontae Smith.
Oh, Devontae Smith. And honestly, that was probably the worst week for both of them. I think Jamar Chase had 2 catches. Devontae might have had 1. But Jamar's was like for a 55-yard touchdown, which is spectacular. So anyway, we're doing it again. Week 2, rookie wide receivers. But let's see who gets the first overall pick, shall we? With the Wheel of Names.
Wheel of Names.
Ready? Let's turn up the volume so you can hear the celebration. Who's it going to be? Who gets the first?
Are you blue
pick?
or red?
I don't know. I think I'm red.
I'm blue. You're red. It's Ethan.
Wait for it. Yeah, it's Ethan. All right. So I get the first overall pick.
We're just picking one each, yeah?
Just one on one.
Okay.
And it's kind of contradictory to what I picked in the pool. but I'm going to go with Drake London. I liked what I saw week 1, but he is going against the Rams. But
target share there. I got to tell you, I'd rank these guys out, and I'm kind of torn between 2 of them, and you're going to think I'm absolutely crazy, but
cool.
I will tell you, I'm going with Jahan Dotson against the Lions. He had 2 touchdowns in week 1. He seemed involved. He's not the number 1. He's maybe the number 3, but Carson Wentz, YOLO bombing. Let's go. I honestly gave it some consideration to go with Greg Dortch, not because I just love him, but he also balled out. He had 7 catches in week 1. And it's the Raiders, man. They're going against the Raiders, who don't have a good secondary. So, thought about it.
All right. Hey, I don't hate it. Jahan Dotson, that's a good pick. I honestly thought about him slightly, just because.
I can't wait for him to win, and you be rooting for him as a Penn Stater and be like, Jahan Dotson beat me. Why didn't I take him?
This is how I talk.
I talk like this all the time.
In my hand, I don't know what to do with them. All right. Well, I think Drake London will have more fantasy points than Jahan Dotson. Do it.
I'd say Jahan Dotson has more fantasy points than Drake London. Do it. Just this week. Do it.
Whew. All right. That was a jam-packed episode. We did our weekly Pigskin Pick'em Do It board updates, our weekly Do It Bet board. I struggled a little bit in some Ted Lasso trivia, but they were good questions. Great show. I think I just need to rewatch it again. It was just fun.
Great show.
Great shirt. Yes. And if you haven't, go YouTube Best of Roy Kent seasons 1 and 2, because it's
12 minutes of absolute glory.
It is just joy.
Fuck Kaylee.
So we got a Thursday night game kicking off tonight for the big week 2, a lot of week 2 action coming up. So can't wait to tell you all about it. We'll see how I do in our fantasy leagues. So until next time, keep on folding.
Fucking fold it.